Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Australia's Tabletop Wargaming Network. Once again, as per usual, I am ScottyD, and tonight we've got the Exterminatus 9 tournament preview for you all. Once again, we've got Alex joining us. How you doing, mate?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, going well, thanks, brother. Going well. And we've also got Dom, the TO for Exterminatus 9. What's happening, brother?
Oh, Scotty, thanks for having us on again for another stream.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So if you have not been to a tournament preview stream before, if you haven't, maybe caught one live, or if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, we do this live on the ATWN Twitch channel where we have a whole heap of people in chat. It's great to have each and every one of you, Dark Justice, Bellino, Junos, Glaves, Full Sack, and SH Darren. Thank you so much for everyone in chat joining us for this evening. Now, if you do manage to miss out on a portion of the stream, or if you come in about halfway through, or you have to leave about halfway through, this will actually be posted up on YouTube on Thursday at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time as well, so you can catch up on what you've missed as well. But to kick off, as we do with all of our previews, I know we've done quite a number with you, Dom, but for those who don't know who you are, why don't you give us a bit of an introduction about yourself, how long you've been in the hobby, what armies you've played or do play, what you enjoy about the hobby and all the other fun stuff as well.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone, and hello again to the usual suspects, Full Sack, SH Darren in particular. So my name's Dom, been running Exterminatus events for a couple years now. Started off from humble beginnings. We were just running it for the local blokes. First tournament was 10 people, and now this one we're looking at 70 odd, so very humbling that everyone gets behind it, the community and everything. Been in the hobby since third and fourth edition, yeah. Started off with Witch Hunters, Inquisition, old metal models that you could throw at your opponent if things weren't going your way. And there's not much that I haven't dabbled in during that time. At the moment, I'm playing my Marines and working on a couple of projects as well.
Yeah, nice.
How many AdMech?
One AdMech. I was, so you were talking about your boat meta before. I was all about my Dune Crawler meta when that was shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, mate, you'd know that I ran at an event last year. I ran Dune Crawlers, but I used them for melee. That's how shit they were, but I didn't care. I was just going to use them anyway, and that was the best use I could find.
That's where I went wrong.
Now, Dom, you did leave one important thing out that I think deserves to be recognized. You got announced earlier this year as being a Warhammer hero.
Yes.
Which I think is massive.
I was very, very grateful for everyone taking the time and effort to put my name forward to that. And me and the wife and the young fella, well, not so much him. He's not pulling his weight, unfortunately, but we're furiously saving up right now to travel over to Nottingham and go to the event for that with the other ones.
Yeah, awesome.
Why don't you tell us a bit about more Exterminatus, because this is the 9th one. So obviously, this is, you talked a little bit about, how you started with 10 people, but, what more about like the actual focus of the event and, what you're trying to achieve with it in terms of core values.
Yeah, so it comes from, I guess, my gaming background as well. So ever since I started attending tournaments, like the CanCons, I think my first one was 07 back in the day. The focus for me has always been on every part of the hobby, not so much winning, because if it was all about winning for me, I wouldn't get much out of it, unfortunately. But that painting focus, and particularly the sportsmanship as well, want everyone at the Exterminatus events to come along and just have a good time rolling dice with mates. And that's what I try and bring forward to the events. And from number Exterminatus 2, we've been raising money for local charities. So the first one that we did was during the massive Black Summer bushfires, and we managed to raise about $900 for the local rural bushfire service. And then from there, it just developed. We liked what we were doing. We saw the good that it was doing, and we got in contact with a local organisation called Murrumbidgee Men's Group, run by Reese. Really helps the men in the Riverina and surrounding areas that are going through a really tough time. So the next couple of events, we're raising money for them. And over the course of those events, I think we raised just over $15,000 for them. And this speaks to Reese's character, is that he told us that we've done enough for them, go and do it for someone else now. So we got in contact with Defence Shed, the Wagga Wagga Defence Shed branch, and Frosty, one of the managers there, really good bloke, and with our help as well, they've now building and moved into a new facility, helping out defence, currently serving defence members, service people, and also first responders and family and friends as well. And I think over the course of our events with the charity raffles and the fully painted armies that we do, as well as the other goodies, we've raised about the same at this point, and we're just planning to continue our partnership. We know it goes to a really good place, helps out people that really need it, so going to continue to do that.
Yeah, 100%. It's absolutely awesome to be able to have an event in the country that does this and really does raise the amount of money that you have, and to see the community swell together and support. I'll steal a saying from the Preferred Enemies podcast. It's called using our wargaming powers for awesome. And working together as a community to raise money for those outside of the wargaming community is absolutely phenomenal. So to that end, let's talk a bit about the Exterminatus 9 charity raffle this time around. What's going to be raffled off, how people can grab tickets if they want to grab tickets, how much they are, and a bit more about the actual raffle itself.
Yeah, so just off the back of that, I'm the one that you've all nominated to go and get the award over in England, but me and the committee are just the ones that organise it. It's everyone else that buys the tickets using their money that goes and helps these people. So it's the entire community getting behind it. I'm just so grateful to everyone that does buy the tickets, gets involved. So this year we've got a fully painted, just squeaking over 3,000 points Yanari army that was graciously painted for us by Richard King, because I'd run out of a bit of mojo and by this point. So he's done all that. Looks sensational. If you want to see pictures, you can go onto our Facebook page. And we've also got a couple of other goodies up for grabs as well. So if you don't walk away the main prize, there's about 5 or 6 other prizes, including a fully stacked army case provided for us by Ben, and limited edition Exterminatus dice that you'll also be able to buy. That all funds from them will also go to Defence Shed. So the way you could get it is on the day, if you're there, just come on up. I'll have a few minions at the TO's desk. You can hit them up. We're expanding with the times, getting around the technology, so we're just going to have a QR code that you can scan now to access PayPal. Exterminatus come in leaps and bounds. Or you can visit our website, and the link for it's there. $10 a ticket. All funds raised going straight to Frosty and Defence Shed Wagga Wagga. And just make sure if you do buy a ticket, put your name and Exterminatus 9 raffle in the description. Otherwise, I don't know where it's coming from. So just make sure you put that in the description.
Mm. Yeah.
If not, all the blank ones you can assume are mine. It's fine. Yeah.
Done.
Or mine. Because to be honest, and I've said this to some of the local guys, I've been wanting to start an Eldari army, but also doing it more as a broad Yunari army. So...
Mate,
Yeah,
it
they're
sounds
not
like
the
you
first
should
one to
jump
say
in on
that.
the raffle.
Yeah, definitely planning on it. Definitely planning on it.
If you're not spending 4 digits, Scotty, I'll be disappointed.
I think I get strung up for that one.
Yeah.
He'll spend 4 digits. They'll just 3 of them will be zeros, if not 4.
uh,
Why don't we talk about the actual tournament then? So you said about 70 players in attendance. We can talk a bit about the meta, which we'll jump into in a second. But are there any notable, say local interstate players, top ranked ITC players that you want to watch out or shout out, or you're excited to watch? Anything like that?
Alex just wants us to mention him.
No, not me. I'm not bringing the birds this time, mate. I'm not doing that thing that I did to what was it, to the Avatar Arcane, and yeah, almost losing myself for placing. No.
And I didn't even give you props for it in the aftermath.
You
For
did.
shame.
You guys
Did I?
did. You gave me some dice. It was all good. I still use
Oh,
them.
there you go.
They roll a remarkable amount of ones. It's fine.
I'm a better guy than I give myself credit for. Well, I think one person is last year's winner, Tim Neal, coming back to defend the title. Anyone who's met Tim, great dude, also a sensational player as well. I think he's going to be really dangerous. And there's a couple of you Chadmec blokes that are coming as well that we've got to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, there's a few of us. We're a wild bunch. We usually care more about the succulent Chinese meal after the event or during it than we do about the actual GT. So it's good fun.
Well, there is a very good Chinese restaurant in the RSL as well. No.
Boys, we're in. That's it, Scotty. It's reunion tour. Let's do it.
Wagga edition.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing I actually forgot to put in the questions was talking about the format, the missions, and the terrain and all that. So if we can divert from the
Perfect segue.
Yeah, divert from the plays for a second. Let's talk a bit about the format. So we're running Pariah Nexus, which only came out a couple of weeks back, but people have had a lot of time to get to grips with it, get their hands on the cards and everything. Once again, as much like previous Exterminatus, 3-hour rounds. Dom, you've said it before, you like giving people that little bit of extra time for them to get their games done in, which is great. And it's, you got 50 minutes for lunch as well, which is really solid. Enough time to just chill out for a sec, have some food, and just, not have to think in your games.
Yeah, and the RSL, look, you got 4 or 5 different options there as well. So, yeah, you're going to get lunch in.
Yeah. So we're going to go through. So list cutoff, actually, funnily enough, was last night. So we are getting hot off the presses. We're going to be talking about the lists, a couple of them in a little bit as well, which is going to be great. And I believe you guys are still checking them at the moment, or is that all been finalized?
We're furiously going through them. Open them up to the public, and for those listening, if you guys can do public vetting as well, because TOs aren't infallible, unfortunately.
Anyone else who's playing AdMech is running an illegal list, trust me. Stocking points.
But it is always appreciated when the public gets in touch and it's like, hey, this is wrong. Makes us feel like idiots, but as long as the lists are right, that's what counts.
Yep. Looking at anything quite notable, again, following the ITC code of conduct, which is a staple at the moment now. A whole bunch of unsportsmanlike conduct details, which we're seeing in addition to the code of conduct popping up around now, which is really great. Basically just, to sum it up in one sentence, don't be a dick.
Look, and I have faith in everyone participating in Exterminatus that just we're all adults. Just don't be that person, please.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you are that person, we're under the RSL umbrella as well. So if I say you're not welcome at the event anymore, we'll get a big burly man, not myself, because I'm broken, to come and kick you out. But let's just not get to that point.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You've got the details about forfeits. So you've got a 15-minute grace period at the start of a round. If you're not at your table after 15 minutes, basically you'll be considered forfeiting with their opponent receiving full points. However, if the TO is contacted, then discretion is then used in place with what happens with the game, which I makes full sense. Then mid-game drop, and this is I think this is something that doesn't come up all too often, but it's also something that I think is also important to be mentioning. If something comes up in the middle of the game, how is that handled? So you've got it in there saying that it'll be dealt with a TO and a referee to talk out the game with the remaining play. If this is not feasible, then the player will be awarded full battle points for that round. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way that you could really do it, rather than, just being like automatic full points. Is like you try and actually ascertain what would have happened in the game and then figure out what they roughly would get, rather than just going, here's 100.
Yeah. And we did like that. That was built. That's actually one thing that was edited from last Exterminatus, because we did have a situation like that, and honestly, I think that's just the best outcome. If they're at turn 4, you could probably talk it out, give it 5 minutes, see where the game would have roughly ended up. But if they're still up to turn 2, just going to call it. And, we understand that things happen as well. Emergencies. It's just life, unfortunately. So
yeah. Then painting and modeling side, obviously you've got your 3-color minimum to receive any prize support. WYSIWYG to a reasonable standard, paint scoring being done via the judges. And then you've also got, and this is something that is starting to crop up around the place as well, is kind of how you're working around 3D printed parts. I'm not 100% certain if it was added in the previous pack or not. But basically there's an expectation where it's judged on a case-by-case basis, but basically you not wanting to have more than 50% of any person's army being 3D printed in full. And obviously they've got to contact you ahead of time and then get permission from the team to be able to use the models in question, things like that. So that's always a good policy to have, and it's standard across events. Then you've got what players are expected to bring. Now, how are you handling the fact that players aren't potentially going to have access to the Pry and Nexus cards just because Games Workshop has sold out of them? How is that?
Joy.
Yeah, they've been very hard to get a hold
of. We've got some printouts. However, during the TO speech and beforehand, it's going to be recommended that everyone downloads the free app, the ITC Battles app. Everyone's got their phones these days. We're all connected to the ether. So it's going to be recommended that we do the ITC Battles app. And worst case scenario, you just use the secondaries from there.
Yeah.
For that.
Are giant spinny wheels acceptable?
I'll allow it.
Perfect.
What's funny is I know exactly what Alex is referring to as well.
It's great. It's a great system. It's really funny, and it gives you confetti and everything at the end. Perfect.
Nice little reward. Then we get to some of the fun parts, which is the prizes that are on offer. So you've got best painted. And note that any army that is not completed or has unfinished models in it will receive an automatic paint score of 0 regarding the painting award. Should be, expected with that one.
It makes my life easy.
Yes.
So with our painting award, and just like I was saying before, with actually winning the tournament, as well as sportsmanship and painting as well, we do take it seriously. We want to score it properly. I think it's in the players pack. You'll see the painting rubric a little bit later. But there's 70 armies there. I'm not going to judge them all. Probably go do the top 10. And I'm sorry, but even if there's one miniature that isn't complete, then we won't look at that.
And then
because we do the whole army when we do it.
Yeah. Marcus Romius in chat saying that the Duncan Memorial Award for best painted, hinting it's Eddie. No, either Eddie Duncan or I forget the other Duncan.
Duncan Rhodes.
No,
it's just the Duncan. Like, it's the Duncan
Stefan
effect.
Duncan. Yep.
Eddie
Stefan.
No, I hope he's not in chat. Yeah, Eddie. Eddie's the one that's won quite a couple of them. I think Stefan's won one from memory, or a few runners up. And if I don't mention Todd beating Eddie once, he'll never let me forget it. So there's that one for you, Todd.
Yeah. Then we've got best sports. Now this is player voted, if I understand it correctly. Yep.
Yeah.
Then player's choice. Now is that that's player's choice painting? For like favorite army. Yep. Now
so during lunch, everyone can set up their armies. Everyone goes and have a look. We'll hand out player slips during round 1. And just a reminder to the players that it doesn't necessarily need to be what army you think is best painted. It's what army you think is the coolest, essentially. We want to really reward the player's hobby side, I guess you could say.
Yeah, nice. Then we've got obviously first, second, and third place, and the obligatory wooden spoon as well. You know, you can't have the top end without the bottom end.
And I got to say, we'll leave the surprise for next weekend, but Nick Matheson, forgive me, Nick, I've forgotten your actual studio's name, but he has created an awesome wooden spoon. So we'll get pictures of that to share soon.
Nice. Then the TO awards. So this is, I guess, would be, you know, you pick out someone from the event and all the TOs kind of find someone that's just, you know, been an exemplar of the weekend, whether that's sportsmanship.
Over all three aspects of the hobby. Like they've given a good show for painting, they've played really well, and not just battle points wise, but conducting themselves well during the game. Yep.
Then the Defense Shed Award. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about this one? Because this might be a little bit different to what other people might have encountered for tournaments.
Yeah, so Defense Shed Award is when we get Frosty and the guys from the Defense Shed to come in. They're pretty knowledgeable about what we're doing now. So they go around, have a look, engage with the players, and they pick someone who sort of the same as the TO's award, but from the Defense Shed side of things.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Now this next one reminds me of a clip that we got back in Exterminatus earlier this year of you, Dom. Being referenced, I will say, by Josh McMillan. But the Noodle Awards.
Yeah, so Noodle Awards is something I've done for quite a while now at my events, including the Wagga local events. So each round I find something really dumb that's happened, really clutch that's happened, or, you know, just absolutely mind-boggling amazing, and they get a packet of 2-minute noodles to be commemorated for it.
Love it.
So there's 5 of them to go around.
Nice. Then local legend and traveling titan. Now, these are self-explanatory. If if you'd been at, for those in chat who did maybe see the Capital Clash tournament preview, this is basically local legend is the highest ranked player from the local scene in Wagga, and then traveling titan is the highest ranked player from that traveled to Wagga for the event.
Not including a podium place.
Yes.
They're already getting enough reward.
Yeah. Then you've got this one's my baby. because I
It's
remember
about
creating
BO,
this
or
one.
Is this about playstyle?
No, this no, this is about Mediocre Man smack bang in the middle of the pack. I remember coming up with that one years ago, and I love seeing it caught on. So basically what this one is, whoever finishes in the middle spot of the event, I think there's 69 players on BCP, maybe 70.
69. Yeah.
69, yeah. So whoever is going to be at that 35th place at the end of the event gets the Mediocre Man Award.
And they'll get a pretty mediocre prize as well as a support.
Of course. And then the next one is the Super Sweaty Award.
Yeah. So yeah, this one's another fun one. It's not actually who was just coming to win, but it's someone who, I guess, in the spirit of the game, took it a little too seriously. So last event was Darren. Like anyone who's played Darren knows it's a really good sport, but underneath that facade, he does froth a win, Darren.
Yep, and he's in chat as well. Cool. So then we've got the battle ready standard that's there. You know, obviously you guys are going to be going around round one, picking out, making sure that players are appropriately scoring themselves their battle ready, as well as we'll go through the mission pack in a minute and talk a bit about that. But you've also got the painting rubric up as well.
Painting.
So it's on screen for everyone, but we're going to run through it just very quickly. Each of these is worth 15 points, and then, you get 1 point for if you use the technique, 4 points if it's good, 5 points if it's advanced, and 5 points if it's extraordinary, based on the judging. So you got coherent army, coherent current scheme / lore appropriate color scheme. The next one is shading of panels, cloth, armor, and skin. And then one after that is highlighting of panels, cloth, armor, and skin. OSL is another one. In there, you've got freehand, unit markings, weathering, basing, conversion / kit bash / lighting, and then modeling basing as well, which is great to see kind of that mix between, it's not just the painting side of things, it's also like the effort you put into your basing and what you add to it to really bring more life to the army as well, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And I think that basically covers it outside of the contacts for yourself and such as well. But we'll jump over to the mission pack now. So you guys published this probably about a week or two ago, I believe.
Yeah, as soon as I could, pretty much. The Tuesday after the Pariah Nexus came out. Maybe the Monday.
Yeah.
Can't remember how quick it was.
So we're going to walk through each of these missions now. It looks like you've just picked out a whole bunch of missions from the tournament companion, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, so they're actually picked based on, the first day anyway, the most flavorful terrain.
Okay.
So we could use 4 different, so ignore, I think it was layout 8 that I couldn't actually use on that day because one mission I couldn't do.
Yep.
But we got 4 different table layouts on day 1 for people to use, and then on day 2 we're only running the one layout, but it's different deployment types, so it's going to feel like playing on a different map.
Yep.
Hope that makes sense to people.
Yeah. So the 4 layouts for people's reference is you're going to be running layouts 1, 2, 4, and 6. Now, having recently played on layout 2 and tested out, I'm just looking at them. I'm just trying to think. No, it wasn't layout 2. I did see layout 2 though. And some of the other ones, they're really interesting. So I'm really intrigued to see how the terrain actually looks on the table for these going into day 1. So day one's missions. First up, you've got Mission J, which is Search and Destroy deployment, so table quarters. You've got Linchpin, which is if you hold your home objective, it's worth 3 points. Then every other objective on the field, if you're not holding your home, is worth 3 points. If you are, it's worth 5. And there's no scoring cap as well on this one. So that's important to note that you can actually score quite high on this if you maintain home and can have decent board control. And then Raise the Banners. So this is where you can have a unit raise a banner on an objective to get 1 additional victory point towards your secondaries. I actually think that's quite a good combo personally. Yeah, at least initially, and probably will lead to some high scores as well.
Yeah, you get an extra, 5 points of banners. Search and Destroy feels pretty good for, staging, jumping, grabbing different objectives. Linchpin's basically just take and hold. So yeah, overall, pretty good for high scores. We can see and set apart some of the players and make some more even matches, hopefully.
Yep, 100%. Round 2 is going to be mission number B. So it's using Tipping Point. So this is the new version of... it's the new version...
kind of like Hammer and Anvil.
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
It's the split Hammer and Anvil, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Where you've got a little bit further on your left-hand side and it's a bit closer on your right, rather than being a uniformed line. With Purge the Foe. Now, Purge the Foe had a very slight tweak to it. Instead of being kill 1, kill more during battle round 1, it is now just kill 1 or more. That's the only change to the mission. So it means that you can score 4 points only during round 1 instead of 8. And then Smoke and Mirrors. Now, this is from memory the mission rule that you are able to select a battle line unit and put them into strategic reserves.
I think it's you get light cover and you can't use any of the core strats. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, let me just quickly pull those up because I do have them kicking around in my email. I just got to find them real quick.
Yeah.
Where are we? Here we go. Because... Alright, so... Smoke and Mirrors. Yep. After both players have deployed their armies, starting with the attacker, each player can place 1 unit from their army that is on the battlefield into strategic reserves, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserves. The points value of such unit can't exceed 25% of each player's total number of points. So at Strike Force 2,000 points, it's 500 point unit that you can put into strat reserves. It also is regardless of how many units you've already got in there as well. So you could actually go over the strat reserve limit with this rule. So really interesting on Purge the Foe, considering that you're wanting to hold 1, hold more, and kill 1, kill more. Particularly on the Tipping Point map as well.
I think it's good. Holding more in Purge can always be difficult at times. And if you're already getting yourself just 1 objective, you're getting your 4 points. If you're using strat reserves to then go out and get angles, do everything else that you need to get that 1, at least kill 1, you're in a good spot. I think that works out well. So
yeah,
you get yourself that 8 primary, potentially 12 each turn, and then try and go for a high primary game later. I think that's pretty good. Not to mention, if they're in reserves, they can't be killed.
Yes.
So, it kind of goes hand in hand with Purge.
Yep.
I need to get my notebook out. Share some more wisdom with me.
The third round mission is Mission O, which is Crucible of Battle, which is your angled hammer and anvil, with Terraform and Stalwarts. So I'll share Stalwarts first. So this is where battle line units can action and shoot, and action whilst they're within engagement range. And then Terraform is a really, really interesting
crazy
one. Yeah.
Really rewards whoever goes first.
Yeah. So basically you do an action on an objective that's not within your deployment zone, and it completes at the end of your opponent's next turn, as long as the unit is still within range of that same objective marker and controls it, and then it's terraformed. You score 4 points for each objective that you control, And if you terraform any objective, you get 2 points per in the battle round to a maximum of 15 points from battle round 2 onwards. So
which just keeps going. So
yeah,
you can continue if you terraform 2 objectives in the middle. Even after you stop holding them, you can still get 2 points per objective. The enemy can't terraform those objectives either.
yep. Because once they've terraformed, they're done.
Yep.
So really, really interesting, that one. That'll definitely split the field, I feel.
The units that it's best for is obviously infiltrate lone ops.
Yep.
Lone ops being able to now make it so the enemy has to gain angles to get to them. Not only just angles, but range. And getting within that. Then you have some other armies, such as, say, Tyranids in Vanguard, who then can make their lone ops 6 inches. And things like that. And their lone ops also have fights first. And precision. And everything else. And it means that it's really good for units like that can actually just set it up. Alongside other units, such as, Custodian Guard and things like that. They can just, move on there. I mean, I'm really keen to see a Dawn tank just do a turn 1, because they can't see anyone half the time anyway. But just, popping over there and just going, cool, I'm terraforming, try and deal with me, let's go. And I think that's going to be a really cool play, just move him up.
Yep, for sure. Then going into round number 4, so first round day 2, is Mission Q, which is sweeping engagement. Now this has changed to, instead of being a straight line, it's like Tipping Point now, but on your Dawn of War. So your long table edge. So one side pushes up a bit further and the other side's a bit shorter. With supply drop and rapid escalation. Now, rapid escalation is, if I just find it real quick,
might be the turn 1 reserves with battle line, but I could be wrong.
It is. So
yeah,
first
I
battle
honestly,
round,
I'm still learning on names. I'm pretty terrible at them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the first battle round, each player can set up a battle line unit from strat reserves in the reinforcement step of their movement phase. If they do so, they must be set up wholly within 6 inches of any board edge, but no model can be set up within the enemy deployment zone, and the unit can't exceed more than 10% of the total points limit for the chosen battle size. So can't be more than 200 points a list. So something like a War Dog could be really solid for something like that.
I'm really glad that they had the strat reserves clarification that they have to be on a board edge for this one. Because could you just imagine the bullshit if you had, oh cool, you did this, all right, I have 5 units of 3 Nurglings just deep striking everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which
that would be pretty funny, because that's 200 points. You can do it. But yeah, so luckily they say, obviously you can choose to deep strike from strat reserves, that's a rule, but they say you have to come from a board edge, so it's a little bit different. Supply drop is interesting. Supply drop really focuses on a primary game, but also a late game. Yeah. So, going early doesn't help. Also, this is the only mission as of yet that is scoring no primary from your home.
Yes.
So it does play a really tight mid game as well, which, in a way, sweeping does pretty well, because you just want to rush out anyway. So, yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, definitely agree. Then the last mission is Mission L, which is another search and destroy with take and hold and hidden supplies. So basically 6 objectives on the field. Take and hold your traditional hold 1, hold 2, hold 3 for 5 points each, and your table quarters. Really straightforward mission for the final round, which I
figured there might be a few sore heads for the final round, so
keep
go
it
a
simple.
little bit more simple.
Yeah.
My TOs included. Looking at Todd.
But yeah, I think it's really interesting because the tournament companion is so new. It's really hard to know what missions are going to be solid, what missions aren't, what combos work, what combos aren't going to work. So I think at least starting off with the companion and seeing how that goes is a great way to go, because we're still so early in the format. For the next, we've still got this for the next 11 and a half months, basically. So we're going to have a lot of time to play with it and figure out what missions are, actually playable and are actually really great to have at events.
11 and a half months, that's almost 11th edition, mate. Come on. Let's go.
No. You're forgetting there's going to be another set of missions and then 11th edition after that. We know Games Workshop works
in
on
1
3
month
years
after it. Yeah. And I can tell you right now, what's going to happen is Deathwatch are going to get amazing buffs in that mission pack when we get the slate, and then there'll be a new mission in about a month and a half after.
Yeah.
Just to invalidate it all.
Yes. So that is the basis of it. Obviously, you've got the battle ready details in the mission pack as well, but this is also where you got your sportsmanship scoring and player's choice scoring. So for each player, they get to choose each 3 of their opponents. They'll have someone gets 3 points, someone gets 2 points, and someone gets 1 point towards their best sport that they played against over the weekend. And then for player's choice, when you're looking at all the armies, it's the same idea. You pick your most favorite, your second most favorite, and then your third favorite, and it goes 3, 2, 1 again there. And it's really good to have that in there for transparency. And then a few FAQ things, so utilizing WTC.
Yeah, which have all been superseded as of 2 days ago, which is pretty much confirming what's there.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And then you've got an addendum that all of us are in one of the TO chats that we all have discussed recently around the pivot rule, where if you come in from deep strike, if you're a monster or a vehicle, that the charge distance is always going to be a minimum of 9 inches, regardless of any extra movement gained by pivoting, unless the charge roll can be modified by a unit's data sheet ability or army rules.
Yeah. Look, I just think it's a sort of a common sense thing. No one wants 5 raiders deep strike in turn 2 and all getting 6-inch charge into your face or whatever,
Yeah.
So
BDA is getting a 5-inch charge,
Yep.
Yeah.
Tanty's getting 4-inch charges.
Hats off to really gamey people that find things like this, but that one was just a bridge too far for me, and I think we just needed to nip that in the bud.
Yeah. And then the other one is changes to modifying a stratagem CP cost. It's particularly around the Lord of Deceit rule is where this one really does come up, because some data sheets that did have the Vect ability previously, you had to have them as the Warlord. For example, Deathwatch Watchmasters, the Devious Mind ability for Archons. And so you've just said that, if it had the ability previously that it needed to be the Warlord, it still has to be the Warlord regardless of the change.
Yeah, and WTC came out and pretty much said the exact same thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
Dom's secretly the head of WTC. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's that time we exposed it for the truth.
Look, Scotty was rattling all the bloody missions off that I picked, and I had no idea which was which. So I've got no idea what's going on. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah. So now that we've kind of covered off on the format, let's get back to the meta. And I'm going to bring it up on screen for everyone, and I'll let Alex walk us through this as well for everyone's benefit.
All right. I'm here for the meta. The meta's good. Done. Get out of here. AdMech's back. Well, at least two players, which is probably 50%, if not higher, of the total people that own AdMech in New South Wales. So that's pretty cool. But overall, Space Marines, we have 20% of the total amount of players that are actually playing Space Marines. We have 14 players. The breakdown there is 3 Black Templars, 3 Iron Hands, 3 Space Marines, 2 Dark Angels, 1 Blood Angels, which is surprising to me, 1 Salamanders player, good for them, and 1 Space Wolves player, bad for us. It's aside from that, Imperium, 18 players with a 25.7%, with Astra Militime having 6 players, which is not, it's like half the amount that we had last time, Tom, so something's happening. I don't know. The guard players aren't
disappointed in the Wagga players. Come on, guys.
They really like their indirect, I think. But Adeptus Sororitas, 3 players, Imperial Knights 3, Custodes 2, AdMech 2, Grey Knights 2 as well. I should probably Scotty, we should probably talk about each one quickly before I jump into all of them, right? So why don't we go back to Space Marines quickly?
Yeah, so Space Marines really interesting spread. Obviously important to note that it is not Hewitt who is running Space Wars. It is Jake Mellon. And
you can't run them. They're all 3D printed. We read the rules. He's out.
So for the Space Wars, it is a version of Wolfshale. It is just a bit different compared to the way that we've seen you run them. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes as well. Blood Angels is actually Chris Frey from the ACT. He's actually been a Blood Angels player for a long time. And so to see him just continuing on with them is actually really solid to see. You've got guys like Andrew Sherman running Black Templars. It's really interesting to actually see 3 Iron Hands players as well. I specifically looked at all of the just Space Marine Astartes lists to see what what they were running. If they were running any special characters, then they were obviously not just under Space Marines. So having 3 Iron Hands, 1 Blood Angel, 1 Salamander, is actually Blood Angels is supplement, but 3 Iron Hands and 1 Salamander is great to see. Specifically that some special characters are still being taken, particularly Iron Hands, because all 3 lists are taking Iron Father Ferios. That's the only way you can be Iron Hands. So
I was gonna say, I've never seen Iron Hands come up because all you have is Feros and Calgar's just better. I do want to give a shout out though. While we all hate Space Wolves, as rightfully so, we all love Jake Mellon. I think he was player's player last year, or he's been player's player at so many events. It's hard to tell. I can't even remember.
Player's player or runner up. I think he got something. But that was my first time meeting him. Was last Exterminatus, and what a treat! Absolute legend of the bloke.
So while you might hate the Space Wolves experience, you'll love the Jake Mellon experience. That's for sure.
Yeah. Then to talk a bit about the Imperium. Last Exterminatus, there was 9 Asher Militarum players, so it's a drop by 33%. But obviously, the changes to indirect now being, 1, 2, or 3 unmodified always fails. Obviously, with some points changes there, impacted that quite a lot for Asher Militarum. Not too surprised to see 3 Sisters, considering their codex only just dropped recently. Not surprised as well to see 3 Chaos Knights. 3 Imperial Knights, but there's also 3 Chaos Knights, which is just shy of 10%. So it means that there are players who are trying to see how they can work with that new Titanic rule of just being able to walk through buildings and not really care, but on a 1 they're battle shocked, and see how that goes, which is going to be really interesting. To see 2 Custodes, again, it's kind of showing that Custodes are very much a faction. If you're a specialized player on Custodes, Tim Neal's one of them. You're a diehard on that faction. You're sticking with it. Admech, of course, is Alex jumping in, and Dale, as we've already previously mentioned, 2 really good players. So going to be interesting to see Dale pivot.
A copycat.
It'll be interesting to see how he pivots from Eldari, which he's played for a very long time, into Admech, which he's only picked up in the last 6 months.
Just as fast as Eldari. A lot of people don't realize that. So it's I probably think they're one of the fastest armies in the game. So it'll be pretty cool. We're both not even playing the speed detachment, but we're playing still a pretty fast detachment. So
yeah.
And Grey Knights, which has dropped off a bit, but there's still some diehard players playing that. I'll be honest, I think what it is it's not even just the fact that things have fallen out of favor. It's the fact that there's so many other options, and let's be honest, majority of 40k players are fiends and have multiple armies. They get excited and want to play something different. So it's cool to see, and we'll see that with some of these other ones. So as an example, Chaos. We have 19 players playing Chaos with a 27.1% representation. So the highest representation here, even higher than Imperium. We've got 5 Chaos Demons players, which is huge.
Yep.
And not only that, we have quite a few varied lists there. So obviously their buffs got them pretty excited. And time will tell whether or not they're going to be really strong, or if it's just really fun, or if it's both. We'll see. So that'll be really cool to see. World Eaters have just been kicking on. reality is that list really hasn't changed much, but it's just people love the faction. And I do think, with shorter deployments, Pariah Nexus makes it a bit better. 3 Chaos Knights, obviously, they received a buff, but also a nerf at the same time because Nurglings, can't do actions anymore for them. But at the same time, you get, the ability to move through walls. Battle line is just better. Things like that. You already could move through walls, but now you can move even more through walls.
You don't have to spend the CP for it.
Yeah, CSM. You've got the faction guys there just trying to do some crazy stuff. I'm not sure what the breakdown is, whether it's Renegade, Raiders, or Soulforge or anything else. But
yeah, I ran out of time, unfortunately.
That's fine. Thousand Suns is going to be pretty scary. I think they're actually still very good. They did obviously receive some nerfs, but
not if you ask one of our local players.
Yeah.
They're crap. They need buff.
One of my mates who's
we don't listen to him. Don't worry.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then we have that one Death Guard player, which is a bit surprising for me because I think Death Guard are I think they're in a better place than what others are saying overseas, because I honestly think they have tools to be able to deal with some of the top dogs in the meta, especially with their fights first, and especially with how melee present the meta's feeling right now.
Yep, and free grenades as well.
Free grenades is always good.
Yeah.
I mean, the contagions are just a hell of a drug. Like, they're really good. And I think actually Typhus is the only one that didn't get his ability nerfed. So, as an example, Grey Knights and Thousand Suns, their Vortex of Doom and Doombolt got nerfed, where you can't hit lone ops. Whereas Typhus, you still can. Because there was a data sheet change, I believe, instead of a data slate change.
Yes.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a Death Guard player, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Chat will tell me.
Yeah. And speaking of chat, Nurgle Matthew in chat has said, Admech do get stuff done. He watched them go 4-1 last weekend in Pariah Nexus. So
yeah, I've lost one game with them out of 10, and there was some dice rolls that made that a huge difference. They've been doing a whole bunch of work, like really good work. I've been going second against Alpha Strike armies, surviving and then just wiping out 800 points in a turn. So they're pretty scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't relate. Can't relate at all.
But to talk more about Chaos, I think the points changes to Chaos Demons have meant people have flooded back to them because they were just in such a state that if you didn't run, Be'lakor and the big stuff around him, or if you went with maybe one or two gods, like I think a popular combo was very much Nurgle and Khorne together. Then you really didn't have much play with them. So that's really interesting. I'm keen to see some of the sucks I don't know what detachments the CSM is running. I actually think Thousand Suns are in a really good spot. One of my mates who's playing this weekend is playing Thousand Suns as well, and he agrees. He's very much like they're still in a really good spot. And it's gonna be really interesting to see how all 3,000 Suns players go, because there's my mate, Bren. You got Michael House, who is an absolute gun of a player as well. And then you got Isaac, who is the Wagga.
Who thinks
lad.
they're literally unplayable. Magnus is shit. Needs to be 100 points.
Well, yeah. I will say something on Chaos Demons as well. I think the biggest thing is now that they can just come from Deep Strike, 3-inch Deep Strike, a Greater Demon, and then just bring everything else around him. And then just 5-inch charge, because usually these things have banners. So you don't even need Be'lakor anymore. You can just do that. It costs you 1 CP. Just go crazy, have fun. But not only that, you also have Kairos, who is a big bird that also has the new Lord of Deceit. And I think it's very good, very potent. Still has some really good indirect. Still has a lot going for it, and is still pretty hard to kill. So I think there's some really cool lists out there, and they've already had the hardest hitting battle line in the game. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Eldari, something that has dropped off a bit. We used to see this always north of 10, but now we've got 5 players playing the faction, 7.1%. And for the first time ever, we have Drukhari having more players than Eldari. We've got Drukhari with 3, Eldari with 2, and it's good to see that there's 2 different detachments, I believe, with Drukhari as well.
Yes, I believe there is someone trying to run the first index detachment, and I think 2 running Sky Splinter is, I think, the split.
Yeah.
Which
is awesome to see.
Yeah, important to note, Greg McGinnity has jumped back onto Eldari as well from Grey Knights. So
he's got a point to prove.
Yep.
And you can't even beat him because he was just gonna just ban you from the circuit. He's got the power. He's a very corrupt individual, Greg. Everyone says that about him.
I'll just put his name on the shield now.
I'm just kidding. One that I'm very excited about though is Hive Mind. There's one part that's pretty funny. I mean, firstly, spoiler alert: GSE is now the new AdMech. They don't get played. It's just going to be hardcore players that are playing them, but apparently none of them, crawled through a tunnel to get to Wagga. But in Hive Mind, we have 10% represented, which is 7 players, 7 Tyranids players.
Yeah.
Which is awesome to see because even back when I was doing GTs, when the codex just came out, I didn't even see 7 players.
Yep. Yeah, it's
really excited. The new buffs are really cool.
I'm
hoping someone's bringing Crusher Stampede. I think that's a bit of a sleeper one, but I know that I've basically had all my snakes been lent out because everyone's just asking for them. So I'm imagining the thing that got me number 1 in the world before is now finally getting used. Who would have thought they were good back when I was using them?
Head of the curve, mate.
I wasn't. They were genuinely good, just people didn't use them. So I'm glad that they're getting used right now. Like, it wasn't I'm better than everyone else. It was just they were a good unit that just didn't get used.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm keen to see some snakes, hopefully, and I'll probably take a photo with every person that's running snakes.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to see that after they've made all these tweaks, that the player base of Tyranids have, again, much like Chaos Demons, they've come back to it and they've been like, let's give this a go. There's probably some good stuff in there. I think a lot of the keyword changes as well actually add a lot more synergy to some of the detachments for units that you'd expect for that to work as well. So it allows for some of the other detachments outside of Vanguard to actually work quite well.
Outside of Invasion was usually the big one, but now there's so much viability. I would say one thing: the biggest buff is actually the new changes that they've done with Synapse, because firstly you have more units with Synapse, which is just great, but secondly, Synapse just makes Shadow and Warp even better. You can be -3 when you're doing your battle shock tests. Now, if you fail that battle shock, none of these units can do actions.
No.
Like, it is amazing, because when you're talking about an action economy game where there's not just secondaries that have actions, but primary as well, it can change the game. Not to mention that Tyranids love it as well, because then they get +1 a wound, you're subtracting 1 from your hit rolls, you get all this stuff happening. And I think that culminating effect is better than anything else. Then you play things like Vanguard, and then you go, cool, I'm just going to keep battle shocking you anyway for fun. I don't even have to be anywhere near you. Just take a battle shock test, please, for me. Oh, you failed? Cool. Now my deep strike, zone threats are coming in with +1 to hit, +1 to wound. See you later. Yeah, it's really cool. It's going to be a really cool army to see.
Yeah.
And lastly, any other Xenos? Who cares? Because we already talked about Tyranids. That's enough. But 6 players, 8.6%. We've got 2 Orcs players, 2 Necrons players, and 2 Tau. Funnily enough, all 3 of these armies actually are Codex armies as well. So a bit of a lower representation there, but I'm hoping to see some mixed detachments.
Yep. We've got Andrew, who is in chat, playing Orcs. You've got Kirby, which is Will Wyckoff. He's running Tau Empire as well. And you've got, I think it's, we're going to look at one of the Necron lists, but I'm not 100% certain who the second Necron player is off the top of my head. Jack Blanche is the other Necron player from Veterans the Long Neck. up Maitland
I
Way, I
bet you
believe.
as well he's playing Obeison's Phalanx, which is not something that typically gets used, which is really cool
Let
to
me
see.
have a quick gander at his list
I could make another bet with Dom, but he
is.
knows that I've been right with what people bring lately. So
You are correct, Alex.
don't want to bet money. There we go. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question it.
The interesting thing
And the other
point
one's
out,
Lily as well, and I think she's just running the stock standard.
Awakened.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
actually,
I think Awakened's amazing right now. I think Awakened is very good. I think changes to what the top of the meta was means that you can run some other stuff that are really cool.
Yeah.
And obviously, Doomsday Arcs with 3 infinite pivots are just a nightmare, especially because they're a giant sausage. Hey, Exterminatus, Sosig Party. Anyway, and then you can go make giant move blocks and block off any of these pesky vehicle armies, and they can't do anything to get through.
Yeah. The interesting thing I'll note, but before I jump into that, Lynchlord, thank you so much for the 26 months tier 1 resub. Really appreciate it, mate. Hope you're doing well. As the same for everyone in chat as well. No Leagues of Votan.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're just cut a bit short.
Come on, guy.
Gotta go the shit joke. You gotta have one. But no Votan, no GSE. Everything else seems to be represented, it looks like. And no Deathwatch technically, but no Raven Guard technically either. So I guess you're fine there. Which is weird because I would think you'd see Raven Guard before you'd see Iron Hands, because Strike is actually like genuinely good.
Yeah. So, a few factions not represented, but overall, the podium, you're looking at Tyranids with 7 players being 10%, Astra Militarum with 6 players being 8.5% in second, and then Chaos Demons with 5 players at 7.1%. The podium only makes up 18 players, which is just over 25%. So to see such a diverse faction spread is actually really good to see. And now, whether that's because it's new missions and people don't know necessarily what they want to fully play yet in the mission pack, or they're like, nah, I want to test this out, or they're more like, nah, I'm a gun-ho on this faction, I want to come back to it. Now, like, the Tyrannid players, or the Chaos Demon players, for example.
It's funny, because all 3 of those podiums, though, typically feature big, high-toughness bodies. So, looking like the meta, especially when you have a bit of Chaos Knights, you have a little bit of Imperial Knights, you got all these other things coming through, and it just feels like it's getting pretty meaty. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
And here I am building a crude army. Sensational.
Mate, I love it. Perfect. Don't worry, I'm with you. I've got some files so you can make your Crutox broadsides if you want. You just have to 3D print a part on the top and you get the railgun.
Oh, I know a guy.
I've got your back.
My people contact your people.
Done.
So many people starting crude armies as of late. I know like 3 people
honestly,
locally.
the model range looks amazing. Like the new models look beautiful. The war
back in the
model
day,
insane.
Back in the day, Imperial Armors, when you could run the big Crutox, Great Narlak Riders, it's just...
I still have them. I made, in fact, Lone Spears out of my Narlak Riders. So I did a heavy bit of converting. I even gave one of them a Petra from the Farstalker kit, so that's my Cruthawk flock representation, so I know which one has the enhancement. So yeah, it's a good fun.
Yeah, so I reckon let's jump in to some lists. If I can just get it. Yeah, there we go. Got it up on screen. First up, speaking of Chaos Demons, we're going to be looking at Aiden Hopkins' Chaos Demons list. This is a mono Nurgle Demons list, which is why I picked it out. I find this really interesting. So he's running Horticolus, Simics, Rodigus, 2 Great Unclean ones. One is the Warlord, both a Bile Sword.
Feel No Pain.
Yep, and the Endless Gift, which I believe is the Feel No Pain enhancement. Then Battle Line is a unit of Nurglings and 3 units of 10 Plague Bearers with Icon and Instrument. Then 2 units of 3 Plague Drones with Icons and Instruments. Then 2 Beasts of Nurgle, a single Beast of Nurgle, and 2 Nurgle Soul Grinders with Warp Swords.
Which is so cheap, right? Like 180 points. It's pretty funny. I'll be honest. So Soul Grinders actually have play on these rather than WTC maps because you can move through walls on some of these areas on GW, so they have a lot more viability. Plague drones are so cheap because that there, I don't know if you realize, that's 5 wounds a pop at T8. For 110 points, you get 3 of them. So that's 15 wounds T8 for 110.
Yep.
Like, it's very cheap. It's very, very, very cheap. And they're really cool. They enable the army. They're giving everything in this list 4 rerolls to wound. They just have to hit a target. So, so if you play them safe, they're pretty durable. You play around that, and that's how Nurgle units punch up.
Yep.
And you go from there. Surprised there's no Rodigus, but
No, Rodigus is in there.
Is he?
there?
Yep. So you got Rodigus and 2 Great Unclean ones.
Ah, you do. There you go. Perfect. So yeah, because you have Rodigus, you can also do some movement shenanigans so the enemy is slower. Because you halve their movement as well with Rodigus. So it's you can't escape them, especially when they're 6-inch deep striking or 3-inch deep striking.
Yeah.
It gets a bit hard.
The one piece of tech I like in this list, and I'm surprised it's not 3 single beasts, but still a unit of 2 and unit of 1. Beasts of Nurgle, if you do not kill them outright in a single turn, they just get all their wounds back. They are really, really tough to deal with.
Disgustingly resilient, some might say.
Like, there's 7 wounds, I think, like T7. Like, it's just, yep. So good luck to any backfield units on your home objective dealing with 1, if not 2, maybe even 3 of those.
Yeah. The only positive is that at least they're mostly most of Nurgle is 5 up in bonds, not 4 up, so you feel a little bit safer.
Yeah. All right.
And it's thick. I like it.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Ashley Thompson from the ACT, one of the ACT ANZ TC team's players. She's running the new Adeptus Sororitas Codex with the Bringers of Flame detachment. She has got a Canoness in there with the Iron Surplus of Saint Estella enhancement. Canoness with Jump Pack with the Fire and Fury enhancement, Palatine with the Righteous Rage enhancement, Ethereal Stern and Kygnal in there, Morven Val is the Warlord, and the Triumph of St. Catherine as well. Unit of 10, is that 2 units of 10 Dominions. One has got 4 Flamers, one has got 4 Melter Guns in there as well. With the Sister Superior either having the Hand Flamer or the Melter Pistol with Power Weapon, depending on the unit. So Melter Pistol with Melter, Hand Flamer with Flamer as well. Unit of 10 Seraphim with the 8, so the 4 Sisters with the double Hand Flamers in that unit. Unit of 10 Sister Novitiates with a Plasma Pistol Power Weapon, 2 Flamers, the Sacred Banner, the Simulacrum as well. Then I believe it's 2 Castigators with Trip Heavy Bolters, Hunter Killer Missile, Castigator Battle Cannons. Morven's Guard, which is 3 Paragons with Multi-Melters and War Maces. Then 3 Immolators with Twin Multi-Melters, Heavy Bolters, and Hunter Killer Missiles.
Pretty stock standard. There's a few slight variations for points here, but this is, I think, the new standard for Sisters, in my opinion. I think it's really good. Those Seraphim, while they did take a points increase, are such a good unit for what they do, because they can go out 21 inches, shoot you with 8d6 plus 8 because of the character that they have with the enhancement. Do dev wounds, which is only 1 CP for some reason, not 2. And then piss off 6 inches away behind the wall again. Rinse and repeat. So you just do that each time, and you hope that the enemy hasn't got faster, breachable units, and then if they don't, then you just win the game. As simple as that.
And it's just because
not to
there's
mention
so
you give them
many
higher AP
options.
as well because of the castigators.
And there's just so many options in the list. It's so fast as well, particularly those Dominions and the Immolators coming at you. Being able to split, there's nowhere to hide.
It's funny, I noticed the players were kind of complaining that they haven't got enough models anymore. But this still has more models than what AdMech runs. So
I'll take you back to when I first started 4th edition, when you had probably 3 sister squads maximum, because they were just as expensive as Space Marines back in the day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
And now you get twice as many for the same cost as Space Marines.
Yep. One thing I actually
still
find
too expensive, apparently.
One thing I personally find interesting is the inclusion of the Triumph of St. Catherine, even though she's been limited to only 2 faith actions, that ability.
Really good, though.
It is still really good, yeah. It's still
the extra 2-inch move means that you can do that 21-inch move, flame, and then go back. That movement aura is honestly a game changer. It just changes so much. Gets angles as well. It's great. And then it's also a really good end game piece because it's still 3-up, 4-up invuln with the amount of wounds it has. I think it has 16 or 18 wounds. So it feels very good. I think it has 18 attacks in melee as well. So it can trade really well end game. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, cool. So really interesting list. Really keen to see how that goes over the weekend. The next list we have got up is Jess Seraphin's list, who is running Drakari Sky Splinter. She's one of the locals down in Wagga. And so she's got Drazar, Lilith Hesperax, the Archon, who is the Warlord with the Nightmare Shroud, so can't be overwatched. Then 3 units of 10 Carbolite Warriors with all the fixings, so Blaster, Dark Lance, Shredder, Splinter Cannon, Grenade Launcher, in there as well. A unit of 10 Witches with the Phantasm Grenade Launcher, 2 units of 5 Incubi, 2 units of 5 Mandrakes, 3 units of 5 Scourges with 2 units with all Dark Lances, Blast Pistol on the Solarite, and then 1 unit that is Haywire Blasters with the Blast Pistol. It's really interesting to see the Drakari players shifting from trip Dark Lance units to including that 1 unit of Haywire Blasters now as well. I've been seeing that crop up for the past couple of months. Then in terms of the other units she's got a unit of 3 Reavers with 1 Heat Lance in there, the Grab Talons and Agonizer on the champion, 2 individual Talos with the Ichor Injectors and Haywire Blasters. Then there is a total of 4 Raiders and 2 Venoms with Splinter Cannons. And the Raiders all have Dark Lances.
Raiders are an interesting one, and you don't see them too much, but maybe the new pivoting rules was a reason for that coming back into favor. But this is cool. It's a cool list. I like it.
I personally like that there's a lot of small niche pieces. Like the 2 Talos are really tough to deal with. Just in themselves, so again, like we were saying with the Beast of Nurgle, they're really hard to shift. So it means that it's a unit that can go onto an objective, do an action, and basically be like, you've got to devote so much firepower to deal with it. Otherwise, if you don't, then your opponent gets the action off. Which I think is good. Reavers are in there for a fast mobile scoring unit, something to get like containment or get into a quarter that you need to move advance and you're there, kind of thing. But yeah, a lot of staple pieces like the Mandrakes are there. 2 units of those typically see 2 to 3 nowadays, which is really solid. The 2 units of 5 Incubi, I think because now Archons can join them, is where one's going to have Drazar, the other's going to have the Archon. And then Lilith's going to be in the unit of Witches, which is more than likely going to be in one of the raiders. You're probably going to have the 2 incubi and the 2 venoms, and then you'll have the Cowboy Warriors in the other 3 raiders, is the way that that would play. So really, this list is actually going to be a highly mobile list on the table, really hard to pin down. So I think it's going to play quite well into the missions, personally.
Highly mobile, and just from playing them a bit myself, a lot of counterpunch in there. And because of its mobility, it'll be able to get to where you need it as well. Lilith's unit with power from pain will absolutely blend through stuff.
Yep.
Sensational.
Yep. You pop her once per
I really
game
like
ability as well in there. So yeah, really, really strong list. Then we have got Josh Hall. Now, Josh actually used to be up my way, funnily enough. He used to be in the Illawarra before he moved down to Wagga. And he is running Chaos Knights. He has got a Knight Despoiler, which has got the Battle Cannon, Gatling Cannon, Heavy Flamer, Auto Cannons, as well as the Aura of Terror enhancement. Then he's running a Knight Tyrant, a big boy knight, with the Volcano Lance, the Ectoplasma Decimator, the Gite Strike missile launchers, the double melter guns, and the Desecrator Cannon with the Panoply of the Cursed Knights enhancement. Then he's running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Brigands, all with Demon's Breath Spears and Avenger Chain Cannons, and Havoc multi-launchers on 2 of them. The rest have got the Heavy Stubbers, and then a single Carnivore with the Heavy Stubber there as well. This list, just the Tyrant is a problem.
Is the Tyrant the one that has the AOC? No.
So it's the one that has got the Panoply of Cursed Knights enhancement, but it's the big knight.
Different one.
It's got the I think it's like something ridiculous on the the Volcano Lance. I think it's like
Volcano Lance is huge. Yeah, that's a big gun. It's Volcano Lance is strength 20, AP 5, D6 plus 8 blast.
Yeah.
Hits on 3s though, so against armies they hit on 4s because of stealth. Admech. It's not too bad. And Dragoons casually wounded on 2s because anti-Walker 2+ is a dumbass rule. But
listen to him, all according to plan.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me the inside scoop, Dom, beforehand. No, I'm kidding. War Dogs get cover near it, which is pretty cool to see. And it has the 12-inch no deep strike, no reserves from it, which is very nice too.
Yeah.
That being said, it is a T13, 2-up save. It doesn't have the AOC. That's a different knight that I was thinking of.
Yeah. So really, really interesting. Not much in terms of combat in this list. It is all just shooting. In this list, the only real combat you see is in that solo Carnivore, which more than likely you might see outflanked and going to your opponent's deployment zone through strat reserves.
Sorry, I will re-clarify. So that 40-point enhancement is the AOC. So it is very tough to shift.
Yep, so that's the Panoply, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's... Move through a wall and just sit on the center objective and just go, come at me, basically.
And it can still do the 4-up invuln in shooting as well, even if you did have huge AP. So it's pretty scary.
Yeah, I like it. It's going to catch people by surprise. So yeah, really interested to see how Josh does with the list as well. Next up, we are going to look at Liam Flanagan's Templar Tide is the name of this, but this is a Black Templars Righteous Crusaders army list. He has got Grimoldus in there. He's got Helbrecht as his warlord. He's got a Judicia, Lieutenant with Tannhauser's Bones, which from memory, Tannhauser's Bones is half damage. I believe.
It also gives the unit that he leads a 5-up Fiona Pain if they're running the right vow.
Yeah.
So if they're running the Templar vow that gives everything a 6-up, this unit also gets a 5-up.
Ooh, that's spicy. It is on your Indominus lieutenant, so Volkite, pistol, storm shield, mastercraft, powered sword. Then a lieutenant with combi weapon, so lone op, infiltrate, scout, shenanigans. Select an objective for reroll once to wound for anyone that's on it. Then there is 1, 2, 3, 4 different Primaris Crusade squads. Each of these units have got a power weapon, pyre pistol, 4 power fists in there, and a few other bits and pieces as well. So a lot going on there. Obligatory unit of infiltrators with a Helix Gauntlet comms array. Then a big unit of 10 sword brethren with 5 power weapons, 2 thunder hammers, 2 twin lightning claws in there. That's a lot of bodies.
And I would hazard a guess the sword brethren are going to have the 5 of Filner Pain. The lieutenant also grants them 4-back shoot and charge, which is really good for them as well.
Yeah,
because you're having a lot more staying power to keep yourself alive, and they do a lot of damage. So yeah.
This is gonna be
at all that chivalry. My God.
Yeah. Everything having a 6-up feel no pain as well. Now here's an interesting thing. Does that vow, if a unit's already got a feel no pain, does it add +1 to it? Okay. I was wondering if that was the case because the infiltrators have a 6-up feel no pain from the Helix Gauntlet. So it doesn't stack.
Not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's still a good unit to have, but yeah, it doesn't stack. It doesn't add +1 to the invuln save.
Yeah. So yeah, very interesting list to basically throw. What's that? That's about 90 marine bodies.
Yeah. I played BT once. It was a very stupid list, but I played it. It's really good, that vow. I ran 60 heavy intercessors with 15 infiltrators and 5 or 10 terminators. 12 terminators in total, sorry. Because 10 terminators, 1 ancient, and 1 captain.
Yeah.
But, that was the entire list, and I had 10 hazard votes on the assault termies as well. That was great fun. You'd be surprised how much staying power they can provide. The strat suite is pretty good too, though, because you can stop people from falling back, which is amazing. You have lance and +1 AP still, and you have all this other stuff as well. So, like, it's pretty good. Like, the no fallback is very surprising.
Yeah.
And it can catch people off guard. So, especially when you think about how many things this can just like throw into combat and tag with.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah.
100%. We've even got Liam in chat who's saying 100 Marines, baby. Just throwing 100 Marine bodies at somebody and just
I prefer what he said first. 100 Marys, baby.
I do like it. It just feels very Black Templar as well. Crusading force just running at your face. It's great.
Yeah, definitely agree. I'd be keen to see how this one goes. And then the last list we're going to look at is one that Dom requested, and this is the Hammers of Dom, run by Neil Anderson. He's taking a Space Marine Gladius task force. He's got a Captain in Terminator armor, Librarian in Terminator armor, a Tech Marine with the fixings, then a unit of heavy intercessors with 2 heavy bolters in there, then a unit of 5 intercessors times 2 with a grenade launcher in each, and then 5 infiltrators, a land raider, regular land raider, so las cannons, multi-melter, hunter killer missile, 2 redemptor dreadnoughts with the macro plasma cannons, gatling cannon, Icarus rocket pods, and storm bolters. And then 2 units of 5 scouts with the heavy bolters, sniper rifle, shotguns, all that fun stuff. Then a unit of 10 Terminators with 2 assault cannons, and then a unit of 5 Terminators with a single assault cannon.
Yeah, so Neil, he's coming back into the hobby. He needed an army to use. And I offered my list to him, and it's actually... It's got to be the list. It can't be me. It actually hasn't gone too bad, particularly those 10 heavy intercessors. I think people just write them off as being standard Space Marine bodies. Yeah. And they're T6 bodies, 3 wounds on an objective if you're shooting at them with a damage 1 weapon. They get +1 armor save. It's just...
You can still AOC it, yeah.
They're just thick. Like, it's great. The scouts are great as well. Just being able to, if you don't get within that 6 inches of them, see you later. I'm off to do a secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And the 10 Terminators coming in. Look, I had the grand. What was that? That was at Goulburn. I had the grand plans of them coming in and getting the sustained hits from the Liberian. Every single game he got charged, epic challenge, and killed. So I never got to see how that went. But I like to think that's good in practice, in theory. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Nah, I'm at the recent Grim. Like I lost 2 of my games by 5-6 points, and then they beat the new sisters, the penitent list as well. So.
Dungeon host, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, new player. He's coming for a good time, but hopefully the Hammers can look after him.
Yeah.
And I hope he looks after them, because the amount of losses as well, they're down to about only a company strength at this stage. So he needs to look after the boys.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see a full brick of Terminators in the list, honestly. Like a full 10-man, 350 points now, rather than, I think they were up to like 380 previously. So it's really good to see Terminators actually be viable.
And they are. It's the same sort of principle as the heavy intercessors, except they can hit hard. Like in the Gladius Task Force, you still got access to the Lance stratagem as well on the charge.
Ooh, yeah.
And same with the 5 Terminators with the captain counter-attacking out of the Land Raider as well, who can actually move a surprising distance because of the assault ramp as well.
And
not too shabby.
The important thing on that Lance is that if you are in Assault Doctrine, you get an additional -1 AP, which turns the Power Fist from being AP -2 to -3. And the +1 to wound, which means anything that's tougher than toughness 9 or toughness 9 and above means you're still wounding them on 4s on the charge, which is
into an Oath of Moment target as well.
Yeah, it can really do some damage. So yeah, that is the last list that we had to look at for the this evening. Overall, Alex, do you want to finish us off, brother?
Yeah. Do you want me to rap or?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Look, great fun. I'm really excited because both me and Scotty are going to the event. Obviously, as I think a lot of people probably clued on. The stream is going to be there, guys. We really want as many people to watch that. And by watching that event, we're also going to have links to be able to donate to the charity as well, get it part of the raffle, whatever you may feel like you want to do, but also see some really cool games. The setup we had last time was amazing. They gave us a great space for it. You have some great games there, Scotty. Make sure he picks some awesome shows to have people watch. So it's going to be really exciting, and above all else, it's supporting a great cause, but also I bet you a bunch of your mates are going to be there. So get in on it, have some fun. I'm going to be having a blast. I've gone only once before. This will be my second time. My back won't hurt as much this time, but we'll still see how we go. And I'm keen. I mean, look, it's my birthday Friday when I'm driving up. It's my birthday week, and I've told everyone to instead of shouting me a drink, just to buy some tickets to the raffle instead. And
don't tell Todd you won't make it home.
Oh, really? Is this like a dungeon thing, or is this a murder thing, or because I might be into one of them.
I think
depends
it's a
on the
drinking
amount
thing.
of beers.
But regardless, I want to shout out all the guys at Exterminatus, everyone that's coming to support at the event. It's really a great time, and I can't wait for it. But any other shout outs for you, Scotty, and then we'll go to Dom at the end.
Yeah, I mean, just for everyone watching, we will be streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. We'll have the simul stream going at the same time. And we did also recently hit community monetization to have memberships and super chats as well on YouTube, which is absolutely phenomenal. And thanks to everyone who's helped with that. which has been really, really appreciated from you guys. I think that's the only real thing for me. I'm going to be on commentary all weekend, so you're going to get to hear my lovely voice and see my face from time to time as well, getting all the good matches. But the one thing I will also mention is that anyone who is subscribed on Twitch, anyone who becomes a member on YouTube, anyone who does support us via the Ko-Fi, in our Discord, you guys can actually vote to what factions you potentially want. If we're able to get it, there's always that caveat. If we can get a faction that you want seen as the most common faction asked between you guys on stream, rounds 1 or rounds 2, we will do our best to do that. And that's one of the benefits that you guys get as subscribers and supporters in a financial capacity to us. So definitely a great way to reward you guys for that. So make sure you keep an eye out. I'll be putting up the post tomorrow with the meta and all that kind of stuff, asking for you guys to vote what lists or what faction you want to see on stream during rounds 1 and 2 before we get into some of the top end stuff from the event as well. And yeah, Dom, have you got any shout outs before we wrap up for the evening?
Yeah, thanks for yourself, Scotty, for once again doing a stream, and Alex coming on, giving you insight and everything.
I don't know why I just keep getting invited, but yeah, this is probably the most tame I've been, to be fair. So, go me. Proud moment for me. This is really about me, more than anything else. But thank you.
We'll name the next Exterminatus after you.
Yeah.
But also to our sponsors, Fenceman Shed, Wagga Wagga, Cards in Combat, Wagga Wagga as well, who's going to be doing a lot of this prize support for us. So that's Jess and Josh. So thanks a lot for that. Elliot, who at Spears Tip Studio had a lot of his terrain bought off him from Adrian. So thanks to them too for and Exterminatus. You would have seen it over the years, Scotty. Our terrain's gotten better and better over the years, and now I think we're at that peak point, so it's good. There was Daniel Sherry. I don't know if he's got an actual name for his studio, but he's provided some tables of terrain as well for prize support. Tip Top Terrain. There you go. Shout out to Tip Top Terrain. And also Nick again. He's done a lot of the handouts and everything for us as well. And also the players and everyone who's taken their time and money to give to the fundraiser as well. Good luck in the raffle.
Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting.
Scotty, you'll have a link on during your live stream, will you? Yep.
Yes, we'll have a chat command set up for both sides. So if people want to know the details, we'll have that pop up every so often as well. So if you do want to contribute to the fundraiser and get yourself some tickets, we will have those details available across the weekend for you as well, and it will be drawn at the end of the event as well during the prize ceremony and such. And if you do win it and you're not there, I believe you get in contact with the person and go from there, basically.
Yeah, we'll cover the cost for postage and everything if you're too far away. Otherwise, we'll get one of the travelling lads to take it to you.
Yeah.
But we can organise all that for you.
Yeah. Which makes sense. And it's really, really solid for you guys to do that as well. But yeah, from me, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your week to jump on this evening to talk about Exterminatus 9. We didn't even mention the name of it at the start. It was alluded to throughout the stream. It's called Sosig Party, which is Andrew's nickname, funnily enough.
Yep. Just going through all the different Exterminatus members, and it was Andrew's time. So Sosig Party it is.
And perfectly fitting for Slanesh. So it's good.
Yeah, for sure. I want to thank everyone who has joined us in chat. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with us this evening. And if you're not at the event, feel free to tune in over the weekend. We'll be starting coverage from about 8:45, 9 a.m. both days for the streaming coverage from the tournament on both platforms, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. As well as if you're at the event, feel free to come and say g'day to us. Always love chatting with people at tournaments as well as, as TOs, as players, as commentators, it's always great to engage with the community and hang out with you guys. But from all of you, ladies and gentlemen of the ATWN, I've been ScottyD. Thank you so much for joining us for the tournament preview for Exterminatus, and we hope to catch you there on the weekend or catch you in the chat for coverage. Hope to see you then, team.